everybody! Today we're making butter shortbread. This is a very fun recipe and it's also very quick and very easy. We're going to pan down and show you what ingredients you need. As you can see, there are very few ingredients. First things first, there are 2 sticks of butter. A quick way to soften this without overly melting it is to cut up the 2 sticks of butter. Just go ahead and put it in a bowl and put it on top of your preheated oven and just let it sit there until you're ready. So, you know, up to 20 minutes, it's fine and it'll soften it perfectly without melting it too much. We also have 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. You could also use almond extract or coconut extract. Vanilla works really well with this recipe. Half a cup of white granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of cornstarch, and 2 cups of all-purpose flour. See, that's all there is to it. The first thing we're going to do is to mix the butter, sugar, and vanilla. We're going to cream them together. We have a stand mixer here. If you don't have one or you don't want to use one, you can definitely do this by hand. This is going to be needed to be beaten for about a minute so that the sugar and butter mixture is very light and fluffy. Afterward, we're going to add the cornstarch to the flour and add that to the butter sugar mixture. So first things first, we'll get started mixing the butter, vanilla, and sugar together. We've got our handy dandy spatula here. Spatula City! For all of your UHF fans out there. We also have half a cup of sugar and our teaspoon of vanilla. So put that in, lock it up, and just put it on slow. We're gonna let that get nice and creamy and fluffy. So now we're going to mix in our cornstarch into our 2 cups of flour. On humid days, this can kind of stick to the bowl. That's what's happening here. It's getting ready to rain outside, so just a heads up on that. Don't worry, that won't affect how this bakes. Okay, so everything's incorporated here. We're just gonna very carefully tip that in. And slowly, if you're using a stand mixer, make sure it's locked and put it on slow speed. You're just gonna wanna mix this until it's well incorporated, so no more than about a minute. Okay, so everything is nice and mixed, and if you notice, we have a prepared casserole dish here. This is just a ceramic oval dish. It really doesn't need to be any specific shape, but you will want to stick with something smaller than a 9 by 13. So this is sort of an oddly shaped one. This is a 6 by about 10. And I think anything bigger than that would be too big. It'll be too thin to cook in the same amount of time. But anyhow, you just want to spray it with some cooking spray. We're going to take this out now. See how that sticks there? This is great. It really makes the house smell wonderful. It makes the house smell like Christmas. And it's going to be the consistency of semi-wet sand, I guess would be the best way I could put it. It's kind of thick. This isn't going to rise like bread dough, but it will bake. So we're gonna put it in here, right into our prepared casserole dish. I'm gonna tap it down with a spatula. And it can be a little tricky to get out, so don't fret. See how thick that is? Almost about like Play-Doh consistency. Yeah, that's a better way to describe it. And we are going to let this bake in the preheated oven. We're going to preheat our oven to 325 for about 30 minutes. And what you're looking for isn't really anything that's very browned. It's just going to be a slight golden brown. There's a lot of flour in this recipe and a lot of butter. Not a whole lot of sugar. So we're just going to get that nice and press down, and then we're going to score it with a fork, which you might need to clean off your spatula in between. Okay, friends, so we score it with a fork, It takes a little while, don't worry. And you know, you can really just cut this into whatever shape or shapes you want. This is very, very rich. So it's a good idea to serve small portions because it can be overwhelming otherwise. But this is what it's gonna look like when you have done when you have completed putting it in the pan. So like I said, it's gonna be in there for about 30 minutes on 325. And then you'll wait about 10 minutes after it's out of the oven to cut it. Okay, so it's out of the oven. It's been cooling down for 10 minutes and here's what it looks like. You can use a knife to cut it. You can use cookie cutters to cut it. Make it your own, make it special. This is really good. So let's give it a shot. It's gonna be very soft and very buttery. It's got these tastes of Christmas and home, and it just makes the whole house smell great. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope that you'll make this at home. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you haven't had a chance to do so already, please subscribe to our YouTube channels to get great new cooking shows each week. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.